Hello and welcome to the Foxcatcher AFL show. My name's Julian Vallance, joined as always by Bernie Vince. Bernie, round 22 action, Friday night, GMHBA. We go down the road to Geelong and we look at this game and look at the price and you go, well, $1.01, $1.02 the Cats versus the Bombers, who are legless at the moment. Not much to talk about. Oh, plenty to talk about.
Lots to talk about, Jules.
What about Jeremy Cameron versus the Dons? And if you think he might be able to himself outscore them. Can it be done? Because you can get $10 at PointsBet exclusively.
I'm not sure if this is being a little bit disrespectful.
It is being very disrespectful.
Let's go with it anyway. I did do my numbers on this one, and the last 4 weeks, the Bombers averaging just 49, so under 50. Okay. And Jezza's last 2 weeks, well, he's averaging 52. He also outscored North Melbourne just 2 weeks ago, 67-49. So I had a look at the stat, mate. Yep. So to answer your question, yes, he can.
Yes.
And I think he might.
Yes.
But we're not being disrespectful here. I had a look at StatMate too for Jezza Cameron. He's kicked 4+ in 8 of his last 10. And he did kick 6 against Essendon in round 14. And they're a lot worse off than they were in round 14, if you can imagine that. So I've got him for 6+. $2.15. I reckon that's good value this weekend.
It sounds good value because the fact that you're saying he kicked 6 against them and you think they're worse than what they were in round 14, it sounds to me like you think he's going to kick 12. So that's where we're at for that. What about the rest of the numbers that count in this game? And if you want to play in some SGM spaces or something else in terms of the total point line, it sits at a high total point line, 181.5. Now, beautiful, pretty good conditions for Geelong Friday night. So I don't think there's going to be any rain about. You can see that Geelong average a high score, 103. But can they score enough? Because we just don't think the Bombers are going to be able to score that much, do we?
Yeah, I've got a feeling they'll score anywhere between 45 and maybe 55, 60. And that way, Geelong, in that case, are going to have to score big, which I think they can.
Yes.
It's just a matter of how much being a Friday night game, how much the dew comes in. It's a bit of a watch. 183 is probably about right.
Yeah, it's tricky for me. Let's get to another game for this round 22, and it's Brisbane versus Sydney. This is an interesting one because the Lions are at home here. They've struggled a little bit this year, Bernie, at home. They're 6-3, which is very different to what it sort of was last year and the 2 years before that as well. But what I can say is the market expectation. So the market, in terms of how it prices it up, still thinks they're just about the best in the comp, second only behind Geelong at GMHBA. So you're playing Brisbane, you're against it, no doubt. And they're just starting, like, they were so disappointing 2 weeks ago.
Amazing.
But they flicked the switch pretty quickly last week, didn't they?
They've been better on the road than they have at home.
Good point.
6-3 at home. I expect them to get this one done, though, against the Swans, only just going at the moment. And Brisbane, as you said, bounce back in a big way. Numbers
that matter here. The total point line sits at 168.5. Now, it's a bit of a weather watch here, Bernie. This is one of these ones where we say hold off until you actually get the conditions 1 or 2 hours before, because I think if we do get some rain about, you probably want to play in the under space because Sydney are a low-scoring team, averaging around 78. Brisbane not as high-scoring as what they were last year. They were high 90s. They're at 89 at the moment. But if it's dry, you think maybe they might get off the chain and get over the top of it. Do you want to play in this space at all?
It's one of those late ones. I do want to play in it, but it's a late weather watch, as you said. You're all over the weather normally, so you normally text through, oh, what's it doing, even though you're not in the city. But if it's raining, definitely unders. But, yeah, 2 teams that can score when the weather's right. So, as you said as well, Brisbane, number 3 in the comp for disposal. So if you're playing the SGM space, make sure you have some of those midfielders, and they just continually rack it up.
Absolutely. I love that shout-out right at the death. Carlton versus Gold Coast. Again, it's an interesting game, but it's just shown the Blues have just missed market expectations so many times, and 5 times, to be honest, in the last 6 games. So that's an issue for them, that they're letting the punters down. They're not really doing the job for the punters at all. In terms of that, the Suns are. They're 4 out of the last 5 I think they've been able to hit. So that's a positive if you're looking at that space in terms of maybe head start, not head start between the Suns and the Carlton. Is there anything else you can give me for this game? Because it concerns me.
Nah, Gold Coast just sneaking under the radar at the moment. People stop talking about them and they're just getting the job done. So I like them in this one in a big way, even though Carlton have won the last 3.
They have. That's an interesting one. And the total point line sits at 169.5. It is under the lid. We know the Suns don't play that well. They need the sun out to obviously, provide their best with their running game. So it is a tricky one, but you are right. Carlton have won their last 3. The Suns need to turn it around, but I think they will. If you're having a bet, please make sure it's a very sharp one. Bernie's had plenty. He thinks Jezza is going to kick 12. We'll see you soon.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.